I just want to ask you, what does E mean as a pronoun? It's E.
To be honest, I'm not sure.
Okay. Do you know what M means as a pronoun?
I'm also not sure.
Okay. Don't you think it's important to know what these mean? You guys are in this post. You wrote, or somebody on your comms team wrote, that using the correct pronouns impacts trans people's health, can reduce the risk of depression and suicide. That's a pretty serious claim. It seems like if you're going to demand people use these pronouns, you would know what they mean, right?
Debates over gender identity language and corporate messaging are increasingly appearing in congressional oversight hearings. At the center is a key question: what role should major companies play in shaping cultural norms and the language we use? In today's hearing, Representative Brandon Gill pressed Anne Wojcicki, former CEO of 23andMe, on the company's approach to gender pronouns, and whether corporate messaging is influencing public understanding of gender itself. Gill pointed to a 2021 post from 23andMe promoting pronouns such as ZE, XE, and FAIR, along with the claim that using these pronouns could reduce depression and suicide risk among transgender individuals.
Miss, Wojcicki, is that how you pronounce it?
Yes, Wojcicki.
Wojcicki, okay. Thank you for being here and taking the time. 23andMe has really, over the past few years, gone out of its way to show how woke it is. And one of the things that it's been promoting, amongst many others, is a variety of different pronouns. Here's a tweet that you guys put out in June of 2021. I just want to ask you, what does E mean as a pronoun? It's E.
To be honest, I'm not sure.
Okay. Do you know what M means as a pronoun?
I'm also not sure.
Okay. Don't you think it's important to know what these mean? You guys are in this post. You wrote, or somebody on your comms team wrote, that using the correct pronouns impacts trans people's health, can reduce the risk of depression and suicide. That's a pretty serious claim. It seems like if you're going to demand people use these pronouns, you would know what they mean, right?
I delegate. 23andMe had a lot of people. We had six,
Right.
7.
You were CEO though, right?
I was CEO, but it doesn't mean I can oversee every single post.
Well, this is a very, very politically charged post that you guys put out. I would think that you would have a view on that. Can you tell us what is the difference between Z and Z? One of them is ZE and one is XE.
I'm not up to speed on that.
Okay. Does it concern you that not understanding this might increase the risk of depression and suicide amongst trans people?
I support my research team that felt that it's important for us to be inclusive of everybody, and it was very much grounded.
I agree, but it doesn't seem very inclusive if you don't know what they mean, right?
I respect the social team and the research team that put that post together.
But you don't know what any of these pronouns mean, but you guys are promoting it.
I assume it's different ways people like to be referred to.
What about here, HIR? What does that mean?
I don't know either.
What about fair, FAER?
Again,
You'd agree these are pretty unusual things, wouldn't you?
I think they represent a lot of the diversity in this country.
Okay, well, I'm trying to understand the diversity, and I'm asking you what they mean. I'll give you one more chance. Do you know what Z here, Z, Zim, fair, EM mean?
I do not.
Okay. Does that concern you that you don't know it? According to your own post here, understanding these and using the correct pronouns would improve your product for trans and non-binary people. It seems like this is directly related to the product.
Again, it was the team, the social team and the research team that felt strongly around putting.
Well, you were.
So he asked a direct question: could Wojcicki define the pronouns her company had publicly endorsed? Her answer was no. Wojcicki said those statements were developed by internal teams, not by her personally. Gill pushed back, arguing that when a company makes cultural claims with policy implications, its leadership should be able to explain and defend the meaning behind them. Wojcicki responded that the company's intent was simply to promote inclusion and respect, and that she relied on specialized internal teams to shape the messaging. But Gill argued that wasn't sufficient. In his view, these aren't just harmless or symbolic choices. When major companies endorse language and policies around gender identity, they influence culture, shape social expectations, and can even impact legislation. Gill then shifted to another point. He noted 23andMe's previous public support for gender self-identification in restroom use, as well as statements backing gender-affirming care for minors.
You were CEO, so you can't pawn off responsibility to somebody else here. What about bathroom access? On 23andMe's website, I've got it up here on my phone. There's a 23andMe blog, and there's a little subheading about bathroom access. Is it still 23andMe's official position that men should be using women's restrooms?
I'm not at 23andMe anymore.
Okay. Was it while you were at 23andMe?
I think we had non-gendered bathrooms as well.
Well, that's not what this is referring to. This is referring to laws that seek to force, in your own words, force trans individuals to use a restroom that does not correspond to their gender identity. Is it, while you were there, was it 23andMe's position that men should be using women's restrooms?
I think our position was just to make sure that we're applicable to laws.
That this isn't in reference. This is actually against laws that would stop people from using the wrong restroom.
Yeah.
So this is actually against laws.
I haven't seen, I don't have that post in front of me, so I can't comment specifically.
Was it 23andMe's position while you were there that children should be transed? Because that's on this website as well.
I don't know specifically what you're referring to.
I can read you a little bit about it. Supports gender-affirming healthcare such as hormones in surgery for trans youth.
I think 23andMe referred specifically some of the pediatric guidelines.
Sounds to me like you took a genetics company, which you built, and congratulations for doing that, and turned it into a woke social justice organization. You want to run away from that now. Doesn't sound like you even knew what you were talking about at the time. You don't know what any of these pronouns mean. And now realize that this is politically not very popular. Says a lot about where your convictions were and what you meant here. So thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Wojcicki explained that she couldn't speak to the company's current position since she has stepped down as CEO, but maintained that the messaging during her tenure was intended to reflect inclusion and what the company believed to be medically informed standards. Gill's point was clear. 23andMe, a company built on science and genetics, had moved into political and cultural advocacy, yet its leadership couldn't fully explain the statements being made in its name. So that leaves a bigger question on the table. Should CEOs be required to clearly defend and understand the social positions their companies promote? Or is it acceptable for executives to delegate these decisions to internal experts and simply trust their judgment? This hearing isn't just about one company. It's about how much influence corporations should have in shaping culture, and what happens to public trust when leaders can't explain their own messaging. Congress Unpacked is here to cut through the noise and keep these conversations grounded in facts. For direct analysis of what's really happening in Congress, subscribe to Congress Unpacked.